Okay. Thank you. Okay. Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Town Council regular meeting at 6:32. Madam Clerk, would you do the roll call?
Councilor Burrell,
Here.
Bordelon,
Here.
Fitzgerald,
Here.
Good,
Here.
Jones,
Here.
McBride,
Here.
Merritt, Pacino,
Here.
and Mayor Parker
Here.
are present.
Thank you. Will you all please rise for the salute to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next on our agenda is the recognition awards and the memorials. Councilor McBride, could you please take the first one?
Certainly.
Yes, I'm trying to be safe for everyone in the audience, so.
I'd like to read a proclamation for the Computer Science Education Week. Whereas Computer Science Education Week highlights the role of computer science in innovation and opportunity, and whereas computing shapes culture and how people interact, and whereas AI literacy, technology, knowledge, durable skills, and future-ready attitudes prepare learners to create, manage, and evaluate AI responsibly, and whereas the hour of AI demystifies these fields for all ages, and whereas the Town of Groton supports Computer Science Education Week, December 8th through 15th, 2025, honoring the birthday of Grace Hooper, encouraging participation in Hour of AI, urging stakeholders to expand professional development for teachers and expose students to computer science and AI literacy, and promote broad, equitable access to high-quality CS and AI learning in every school and community nationwide. And now therefore be it resolved that the Town Council of the Town of Groton hereby declares December 8th through 15th, 2025 as Computer Science Education Week, dated at Groton, Connecticut, this 6th day of January 2026. The Mayor of Town of Groton, Juliet Parker.
Thank you. Councilor Good, could you please take the next one?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Office of the Mayor, Town of Groton, Connecticut, proclamation honoring Greg A. Hanover, P.E. Whereas Greg began his career with the Town of Groton on August 29, 1985, as a civil engineer, and on August 17, 1992, he was promoted to Supervisor of Technical Services in the Engineering Division, and whereas on December 29, 2019, Greg was promoted to Public Works Director, where for 6 years he has organized and administered all aspects of the various divisions in the Public Works Department to achieve and implement goals, policies, and programs as directed by the Town Council. And whereas throughout his strong leadership and vision, Greg has assembled a stable and successful team dedicated to improving the quality of life for the community of Groton through innovative ideas and focused determination. And whereas through his career as a civil engineer and director, he was instrumental in the planning and development of major projects and programs, including the completion of the Town Hall Annex Project, the South Pleasant Valley Road Project, improvements to the Public Safety and Communications Facility, and the Groton Public Library, introduced computer-aided design technology and GIS mapping of sanitary sewer and storm drainage systems, and provided long-term planning and implementation of the town's capital improvement projects in the Public Works Department's budget. During his tenure, he also established a townwide pavement management and maintenance system, provided the management of operations, maintenance, and rehabilitations of the town's streets, storm drain, and sanitary sewer systems. And whereas Greg will leave a lasting legacy of commitment, hard work, spirit of support and empowerment for employees, knowledge of all things Groton, dedication to the community and town organization, work ethic, good judgment, commitment to excellence, customer service, his desire to get it right, not just get it done, will be remembered and sorely missed. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Town Council of the Town of Groton, on behalf of the citizens of Groton, wishes to express its sincere appreciation to Greg for his 37 years of loyal and dedicated service to the Town of Groton, and extends a heartfelt thank you for a job well done, and best wishes for the happiest of retirements. Dated at Groton, Connecticut, the 6th day of January 2026, Juliet M. Parker, Mayor, the Town of Groton.
Thank you. Next, we will have the public hearing on 2025-1075 Noank Main Street reconstruction.
Okay. Town of Groton, notice of public hearing, Noank Main Street project. Notice is hereby given that a public hearing will be held by the Town Council of the Town of Groton, Connecticut on Tuesday, January 6, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. in Community Room 1, Town Hall Annex, 134 Groton Long Point Road, Groton, Connecticut, to receive comment on draft plans for the reconstruction of Main Street in Noank. If you are unable to attend the meeting in person, you can submit an email to council@groton-ct.gov. Plans include the following highlights: full depth reconstruction of Main Street, 1,500 feet to correct grading issues and substandard pavement structure. Reconstruction will also include portion of two side streets, Ward Avenue, Main Street to Noank Firehouse, Pearl Street, Main Street to Potter Street. The road width will generally be made uniform to provide 11 feet travel lanes and 8 feet wide on-street parallel parking spaces. The estimated number of existing on-street parking spaces is 72. The new plan will have an estimated 70 parking spaces. The 2 spaces lost are located in the eastern end of Main Street. Existing sidewalks will be replaced with concrete sidewalks and granite curbing. Existing granite curbing will be reused, and a new granite curbing will be used to replace existing concrete and asphalt curbing throughout the project area. There are several areas of proposed new concrete sidewalks to provide pedestrian connectivity. Pearl Street sidewalk in front of 12 Pearl Street, 100 feet long. North side of Main Street from Church Street to Cathedral Heights, 130 feet long. North side of Main Street from Cathedral Heights to Front Street, 330 feet long, shown as option A. Option B is to eliminate this sidewalk. All sidewalks will be constructed to meet ADA accessibility requirements. The existing undersized and inadequate drainage system will be replaced with an entire new system of catch basin and pipes. Stormwater outlets will remain in their existing location. Signage and pavement markings will be minimal. Pavement markings to consist of stop bars and crosswalks. Where appropriate, some streetscapes amenities are proposed, including street trees, benches, bike racks, and trash cans to match the historical character of the street as much as possible. Dated at Groton, Connecticut, this December 11, 2025. John Burke, Groton Town Manager.
All right. There are several people who have signed up, and first is Kevin Fipp. Oh, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. I appreciate that, and for those who sent emails or attended earlier meetings, it's much appreciated. Nothing's set in stone yet, so we're very eager to hear your comments. I'd imagine next steps will be taking these comments, talking with staff, talking with engineers, but coming back to see what different options are to talk to the council for next steps. That's what I imagine the next to be. If you have not seen the earlier presentation, if you go to the town's website, there's a link under the news for Noank Main Street Project, notice of public hearing. There's links to the last time a presentation was given to the town council, as well as the last public input meeting. I just want to point out a few things prior to the presentation. Give me one sec here. And this is partly just to remind people, and you won't be able to see me back there. Maybe it's better. I don't know if you see the cursor. Just so the council and others, just a reminder of where the project limits are. There's Main Street in Noank. There's the west terminus just past Terrace Avenue. Yeah. Can you see the mouse on there?
Yeah.
Can you see that? Yes. Okay, we'll do that then. We will do that then. Sorry about that. Here you have Main Street, the west terminus of the project. Here west of Terrace Ave comes along. It was mentioned in the public hearing notice, Ward Avenue up past the Noank Park to where you get to the fire station, down Pearl Street to approximately Potter Court, and then going downhill to Front Street. I'm sure there'll be some comments on sidewalks. You've heard there's been a lot of comments along the way, just to point out where those are that have been discussed. Here we're on Main Street, here's Pearl Street. So one of the sections would be on the west side here, a small section coming down to approximately where the driveway is. And then the north side of Main Street, two sections, starting from Church Street down to Cathedral Heights, and then continuing on from there down to Front Street. There's just an aerial view of that, so you can kind of see what it looks like without the regular map. Let's see here. Oh, and then we've had a few comments, received some comments. We don't want to see Noank be Mystic, and I agree that's not appropriate. And you know, there's obviously discussions around straightening the road, that type of thing. But I just want to point out that Noank does have its own zoning. Here's the zoning map for Noank. There's only 3 parcels through here that are commercial. The rest are residential village. These are village commercial. And here's a list of uses, allowable uses in the zoning there in Noank. Residential village, pretty restrictive. That village commercial. If you look at the Main Street mixed use district, which is most of Main Street, there's a lot of things there that are not allowed in the commercial district in Main Street, Noank. Hotels, bed and breakfasts, bars, that type of things. So Mystic's much more intensive. So I just want to point out that unless Noank chooses to alter the zoning, it will be limited on what you could do anyways. But just wanted to make that clear so everybody understands that. And that's all I have.
Great, thank you. Kevin Fiftel.
May I ask, it's 3 minutes tonight?
You're doing 5, correct?
Thank you.
5, yep.
It wasn't that hard to lobby, so I appreciate it. Good day, my name is Kevin.
You're
Fish-
welcome.
Sorry.
She's welcome.
Oh, welcome. Thank you, Mayor. My name is Kevin Fiftel, 5 West Mystic Avenue in Mystic, Connecticut. We're also, our family owns the Universal Package Store, 19 Pearl Street, Noank, Connecticut. Thank you to the Mayor, Town Council, and Town Manager. We given an opportunity to express our views and opinions on this project. I'm especially grateful to the newly elected Town Council, where it appears you'd like to provide a more open and transparent government than in the past, and have a willingness to listen to your constituents. I'm also grateful to our Town Manager, John Burt, for his positive comments on this project, which center around what residents would like to be done. Thank you all for this approach, as it's extremely refreshing under these terms. Our family has owned Universal Package Store for approximately 6 weeks. We purchased it to continue our approach to run family-owned and community-focused local companies. We are focused on local community needs, and this is our 4th family-owned business in this area, and we're going to continue to invest in local markets serving local customers. We were well aware of the Noank Main Street project when we purchased this business. Having run profit and loss operations since I was 30 years old, we understand as a family how to embrace a business model and understand how well we have to execute on key deliverables and minimize the risk we face in our businesses. This Noank business has a very fragile business element in our business plan because there is this one singular asset and risk which will make or break us at this location, and that is access. We need customers in our prime 8 business months, which include spring, summer, and fall, to drive down Main Street and turn onto Pearl Street. We need to have the ability in an unfettered manner, as there is only one path in, for delivery trucks to deliver, customers to drive up, and for us to drive out to our delivery. While detours may be able to be implemented for certain restaurants and marinas in Noank, Palmer's Restaurant, the U.S. Post Office, and Universal Package Store only have a single access street, and that is Pearl Street. The other issue is losing 2 parking spots on Pearl Street in the immediate area. In the winter, we are full on Pearl Street with cars parked. They overflow to the 30 minutes parking directly in front of our building at 19 Pearl Street, and for the moment, there's no apparent enforcement. In summer, a loss of 2 spots based on location is significant. It's not like 72 minus 2 and 70 is good, which is good for the whole town. It's a very small loss, but those 2 mean the world to us. That's part of our business demographic and who we have to deliver to. I would ask that these 2 spots be retained if possible as part of the new plan and they not be X'd out. I come before you not as an intervener, but as a resident and business owner to ask that we are allowed the opportunity to provide input once a construction plan is being finalized as to allow our business to survive. Frankly, when the engineering company stated that this work is a 2-year plan, that says to me as a business owner, that is a major risk. We may not be able to weather the potential lack of access in Noank. If we do not have access or limited access for 2 years, I'd say we're out of business in Noank. It's pretty simple. While a liquor license is transferable within the same town and not limited to a specific fire district, we chose Noank to ensure we can deliver great products to a local clientele. Everything I say is local. We're geared toward local business, and it's very important to our family. We want to remain in Noank, but need the town to cooperate with us, and we believe you will, and other local business to ensure success for all. Frankly, as a local business, at any given day, we're filled with residents who offer us advice, suggestions, gossip, and lots of views on life in Noank, and we embrace whatever they have to say. Please feel free to stop in and welcome us to Noank, and thank you for the time. I'm very grateful.
Thank you. Before I go on to the next person, there are some empty seats over here, so we're not blocking the doorway, so people can still come in, please. Thank you. Next is Andrew Giblin.
I would like to thank the town council for their consideration of Noank. Please know it is not taken for granted, and there are certainly needed improvements. However, the proposals to date represent an approach that doesn't fit Noank's existing, unplanned, form follows function existing streetscape. Trying to apply modern contemporary standards to Noank's non-conforming system may well result in unintended consequences after the project's significant costs and disruption. Any narrowing of the road due to new sidewalks will add to the traffic congestion, which in the summer is significant. While not against sidewalks, I put forward to you that if Noankers that came before us thought they could have built more sidewalks without causing more problems than they solve, they would have done so. I believe there was an understanding that Noank simply can't afford to lose 1 more inch of travel lane width. This is especially true of the section of Pearl Street where a new sidewalk has been proposed. With existing parking on one side of the road, 1 lane of traffic typically has to pull over to allow the other side to pass. And this is a required maneuver when large trucks deliver to the stores and marine businesses on Pearl Street, or when large oversized boats and their associated trailers follow the same route. Any narrowing of the road, even minimally, will only make matters worse. I am very concerned a tipping point will arrive with respect to residents' tolerance of the difficulties of navigating Pearl Street, resulting in the installation of no parking signs, which would eliminate critical spots for the stores and apartments on both Pearl and Main Street. Another factor to consider is the significant disruption the roadwork will cause to the businesses as well as the apartments when weighing the overall benefit of the project. Impacts on Noank's current parking arrangement, while seemingly unorganized, should be considered, including on the length of Main Street. Somehow, Noank manages to successfully provide more parking spots than would exist under a standardized system. It is these existing parking spots, not one scaled off a plan, that should be counted when figuring if spots are lost or gained. As for aesthetics, the results of the copy and paste approach will look incongruous to the surrounding unorganized, naturally evolved scheme. Benign neglect over a long period of time can result in something more appreciated precisely because it was not modernized or brought up to code. Think Fenway Park. I would like to finish here tonight, not as a critic, but rather as a resident who offers suggestions. Please consider funding the upgrades to our underground utilities, including our water distribution and drainage. Fix the existing degraded sidewalks, which I understand are the cause of legal complaints against the town, not the lack of sidewalks. Regrade Main Street to the minimum amount required. Noank doesn't need additional contemporary aesthetic streetscape elements to be nicer or more appealing. It already is on both accounts. I sincerely suggest there are other parts of Groton which are in greater need of this attention, with residents that desire it more. Thank you.
Next up, Catherine Pratt.
My name is Catherine Pratt, and I live at 75 Front Street in Noank. Mayor Parker and members of the Town Council, good evening. As a longtime resident of the village of Noank, I appreciate this opportunity to express a few thoughts on the Main Street Road reconstruction project. While I understand the need to address deficiencies in the existing pavement conditions and drainage system, I am concerned that the project's scope has drifted from simple infrastructure repair to a modern redesign of the entire street that clashes with Noank's status as a village on the National Register of Historic Places, whose distinctive architecture is highlighted by its picturesque streets, courts, and lanes. The town of Groton has done a fine job of repaving and repairing Potter Court, Smith Court, the lower end of Pearl Street, Church Street, and Marsh Road, and making utility upgrades as required while respecting the existing street configurations and preserving historic integrity. Why the same approach is not being considered for Main Street is unclear. Historically, Main Street was created for pedestrians, horses, and low-speed carts. It has curves and organic alignments that follow the topography and property boundaries that naturally encourage today's drivers to operate their vehicles at slower, safer speeds. The current plan to realign the roadway and create travel lanes of uniform width to various DOT standards will, in my opinion, not only diminish Noank's visible heritage as a 19th century maritime village, but it could also result in the unintended deleterious consequence of faster driving. Whereas many of the new sidewalks proposed on the original plans have been eliminated, some remain on Main Street and Pearl Street for the stated reason of pedestrian safety. To date, a FOIA request for any records of complaints, slip and fall claims, or personal injury lawsuits filed against the town over the last 10 years related to pedestrian injuries on the roads, sidewalks, or public rights-of-way of Main Street or Pearl Street has turned up just one incident, a slip and fall claim for an injury that allegedly occurred due to a pothole on an existing sidewalk. It is difficult to reconcile the public safety rationale for new sidewalks with the lack of documented evidence produced thus far of any pedestrian injuries attributed to the absence of a sidewalk, and integrating suburban sidewalks into a historic area presents a preservation challenge that I feel would best be avoided. With respect to the project's site amenities, I worry that they diverge from Noank's historical background. As an example, the consultant's proposal calls for decorative light poles. If light poles are desired, please note that there is an original oil-fired street lamp in front of the Noank Historical Society Museum at 17 Sylvan Street, which has since been electrified for modern use and which could provide a historically authentic design and a more direct link to Noank's turn-of-the-century appearance than the light poles being considered. In conclusion, one of the reasons we love Noank is because it offers a unique aesthetic that evolved organically over time. Its lack of typical suburban infrastructure contributes significantly to its charm and appeal. The Main Street Road reconstruction project is sparking slippery slope concerns for the future of this cherished coastal village with a rich shipbuilding history that has thus far avoided the type of commercialization and commodification seen in Mystic, and it emphasizes the need to balance capital improvements with historic preservation. Any infrastructure changes should respect Noank's unique characteristics and historical status. Thank you for your consideration.
There's 2 seats over here if you need to sit down, because we need the door open. There's 2 seats on the side of the wall over here, if you want to sit down. Next is Cindy, and I hope I say this correctly, Van Zandt. Is that correct? Yes.
Good evening. My name is Sidney Van Zandt. My late husband and I bought a condemned house at the bottom of the hill in Noank in 1961. It was condemned because the water ran down there, sewage ran down there. We didn't have any protection for any of that at that point. I've been involved with protecting the environment since then. There's over 2,000 acres in this town that the Groton Open Space has saved since that time. What I have here is a picture of the corner of Front and Main Street. I wish I could, I will be leaving this with you and you can make copies. But there's a marina or two at the other end of this street, and when they're pulling a 50-foot boat on a trailer, this is what, here's a large boat, a large vehicle that's going around that corner. The main problem is the drainage. We live at the bottom of a hill, and that hill drains to 3 Front Street, which is where my house is. There was over an ankle depth of water in that house when we bought it, along it being condemned. At any rate, my husband did this nice drawing, and it showed our house and what should be, if somebody is really doing some stuff with their building of roads, there should be a lowering from the corner of our house, which is part on Main Street and part on Front Street. But what they have done is continued to add blacktop to that street, so there is no drainage. It sits there in a puddle. And on the corner is the drainage that goes into the river. And all they've got to do is fill the whole thing up. When they put in water and sewer, they just kept adding blacktop to what it's there. So now water doesn't go anywhere but come into my yard. And it doesn't then go out because there's nothing lower. And so I have the drawings that he has showing how it would be hoped that these guys who have good drainage on draining because they're putting in new roads will review it, because there's major issues on the drainage. And there's major issues since down at the bottom of Main Street, there's a park. And people swim there, and people sit there, and people spend a lot of time down there. but there's only 4 parking places down there. So where do they park? They park in my side yard, which is where there's a threat of having a sidewalk. And you can't have a sidewalk with a car there, so the car can't park there. And if you've got a car parked there and on the other side, you can't very easily get that large boat that you're trailering from the boatyard by it. You can't go around that corner. There isn't room because it's a town village park, and it would be very nice not to have to close that off. My husband wrote letters back in 1977, and in 1997, I have a copy of them. One was to Walter Blanker of Public Works. The other was to Gary Schneider, Director of Public Works, talking about the grading, paving at 3 Front Street, Noank. And so I am now passing on to you, and I hope that you will really pay attention to something that we've been working on since 1977, but 1961 with ankle-deep water in our house because it didn't drain off. I hope that you won't end up having ankle-deep water again in my house, because it won't drain off, because the people who have done the covering of the road haven't paid attention appropriately to drainage. So I'll leave this with you. Thank you very much.
Jimmy Dole.
Good evening. Jimmy Doyle, 96 Main Street next to Mystic Oysters. We sailed into Noank 7 years ago, fell in love with this ex-fishing village and shipyard, its architecture and picturesque views, bought a property and restored it. It's easy to see why Noank, one of New England's treasures, is on the National Register of Historic Places. Going forward, we hope the powers that be will be vigilant in protecting Noank's unique charms. We trust the town council and engineering contractor Wright Pierce will fully consider residents' feedback. Noankers know the benefits and risks of our sleepy village as well as anyone. I'm all for Groton's efforts to repave Main Street if done with care. Its plan must pass muster with the State Department of Transportation and also the State Office of Historic Preservation. It's not simply a road resurface, pipe upgrade, drainage project. Its unintended consequences could diminish one or more key aspects of Noank's historic character. Wright Pierce has focused on the traffic safety goal of separating motor vehicles and pedestrians. Important considerations, but the village is not a high traffic zone. There's been no proliferation of accidents. Noankers can't recall a pedestrian getting hit by a vehicle. Store Hill, the scenic incline above the mouth of the Mystic, once home to small shops, is a sticking point. Wright Pierce recommends installing a suburban-style, 5-foot-wide concrete sidewalk on Main Street's north side. Noank safety advocate Ed Rice Johnson proposes instead a low-cost greenway along Main Street's northern edge, planted with grass seed to enable pedestrians to safely walk up and down Store Hill. This alternative to a conventional sidewalk would avoid stamping a cookie-cutter design on the rustic hill's spectacular views of Latimer Light and the Atlantic. A reduced-cost greenway could also be a key factor in the project's ultimate success. A streamlined plan with no bells and whistles may be Groton's best competitive shot for scoring scarce state bond funds. One other safety note. In smoothing Main Street's steep hill, let's start by first trying to avoid creating a new traffic hazard, a daredevil thrill ride for skateboarders and scooter riders from Noank to Hartford.
Stanley White.
Excuse me, Stanley White, 47 Front Street in Noank. I want to thank you for your time tonight. I just want to offer two things to you. First off, I think that the engineers with their Plan B for the east end of Main Street, I think they were listening to the residents pretty much, and I think they did a good job. I think that the drawings that were provided to the residents to review over the last month, they were engineering drawings, and I'd have to say that most people can't really read those. And although you had received aerial photographs that were marked up, those drawings weren't provided to the residents. And I think they would be much easier to read and understand the project if that type of presentation is put into the public realm. And I also want to remind everybody that this project is a utility project besides just paving. And we don't want to have our water system blow up like they did, I guess, in Worcester, Massachusetts, because our system is quite old. And so we have to take care of our utilities in town. So thank you very much for your time.
Beth Steele.
I'm okay, thank you.
Okay. Alan Tracy.
Good evening, councilors. My name is Alan Tracy. My partner Robin and I live at 36 Main Street. Most people know it as the old group home. Like most of the folks here, we're right in the middle of the project. And also like most of the folks in Noank, we live in a house that was built in the 19th century. And obviously over that time, lots of upgrades and improvements have been made to our house to make it the wonderful place that it is. That's how we see this project. We are excited about this project. We are in favor of the project. We are not engineers, so we do not have, detailed input. But we are excited to see it built. It's very necessary. The state of the sidewalks on Main Street, certainly in the road itself, is in dire need of improvement. I think obviously the town recognizes that. We are in favor, but I would also like to say, and I would also like to appreciate the input that the project is soliciting from our neighbors and certainly the business, and recognize that there are individual properties and certainly businesses that have unique and particular needs, and we're very happy that input is being taken and considered and being adjusted. One thing I would ask for, there's been a few iterations of the plans. It's very hard to track what is being changed as time goes on. So I would just ask, as plans continue to be changed, that there's some kind of a reference of what has been changed, what's been taken out, what's been added, because it is hard to track it. But we're very in favor of it. We're very excited for it, looking forward to it. And so thanks for the opportunity.
Donald Mashand, I'm sorry, I mispronounced your name.
I don't believe I signed up to speak.
Were you hoping to speak under citizens petition?
I thought I signed up under
So okay, I'll just move you over to the other side. I'm looking at the list for the public hearing sign-up sheet. So you meant to sign up this for citizens petitions?
That was on the right-hand side. I signed the sheet on the left-hand side.
Yeah, the left-hand side was the public hearing, sir.
No, my mistake.
I will put you on the other list. Kevin Blacker.
My name's Kevin Blacker from 11 Church Street. I'd like to first ask and make sure that I'm not speaking too loud or too softly. Okay. Grew up on Main Street. Spent 39 years in town, and not just living but working in town. I love the town of Noank. I love all the people in Noank, all my neighbors. Have been fortunate to get to work for many, many people. And over the years, listen to them and pay attention to their needs, and pay attention to the needs of many of the businesses in town. And when I look at this project and I look at what we're being told by Pierce Wright or by John Burt, just because somebody says something doesn't mean that it's true. A statement that only 2 parking spaces will be lost, or that a truck will be able to navigate a turn just because an engineer says it's so, doesn't make it so. And from my practical vantage, considering the needs of many people, I think that this project is going to create a great deal of harm if it's approached as proposed. I think that it's going to create long-term practical problems and harm to the village of Noank. I think that there's a need to repave the roads, do some drainage work. To Stan White's point, the water, the utilities absolutely need attention. I think to the concerns of many, there do need to be some safety improvements, which could be accomplished in a practical fashion. I think that the town staff, the Public Works Department, is much better suited to design and complete this project. I think that the skill and the knowledge, the practical knowledge and the brilliance of town employees like Dan or Joe, the foreman, or Ralph Babonis, the equipment operator, or some of the other workers, they're going to give us a better product. And I think that Greg Hanover should be hired as a consultant, that Lee Treadway should be hired as a consultant, as he was done when they were paving, when the town paved Church Street, which they did an excellent job on. So basically, I think that there's a need for the repairs, but the town would be much better served to ask Pierce Wright to exit stage left and have the Public Works Department take over. So thank you very much for having this public hearing and for taking input.
Bruce Avery.
I'm Bruce Avery, 55 Spicer Avenue, in Noack. I would have to say that I'm vehemently opposed to most of the project as I understand it to be designed out. I think I am in favor of upgrading the water system. I'm in favor of keeping Noack and the character that it is, and pretty much I like to see it left alone. Thank you, and thank you for letting us have this hearing tonight.
Bob Porter.
Bob Porter, 16 Main Street. I've been in Noack for about 55 years. I live at the east end with my father. He lives 2 houses up. The first thing I want to say is thank you for having the hearing, and thank you to the Public Works for working through this process. I know it's a really tough crowd out here, right? And a lot of people don't want to see change. I can tell you from the place we live and some of the things we deal with the sidewalks and drainage and other things, something has to be done. So I really appreciate the opportunity. I'm excited for this to happen. I'd like to see it happen faster than maybe some people want it to happen. I don't think it's that bad. Most of what I see, I approve of. I think it will clean things up a lot. I don't see that much change. Like a lot of people see a lot of change. I really don't see that much change. After a year or two of the sidewalks, getting patina and stuff like that, it'll just blend in. One of the other things I want to say is there are other sidewalks in town that have been consumed by vegetation that are there and are safety issues that I'd like to see those things get cleaned up too. So we're putting in new sidewalks, but we have sidewalks that are there that have been, nature has just taken them over. So having been around, it's, that I'd like to see those things happen and rights away. So if we decide we're not going to put in a sidewalk, we do have a greenway, vegetation gets cut back. So we have view of the road and you have line of sight issues that can get taken care of. And we also have places where people can walk. So you don't have to put a sidewalk in, but you do have to clean up the properties and the rights of way so that we do have lines of sight. Because I think one of the biggest safety issues we have in town is lines of sight that are blocked by vegetation and other things. So pretty much that's all I want to say, and thank you.
Michael Noel? No, I'm sorry.
Hey, good evening. Michael Noel, 100 William Street. I'm also the chairman of the fire district, and most people might know, or just wanted to let people know that we are planning on upgrading the water system on Main Street. We have an engineer working on plans for that now. And a couple of personal comments, not fire district comments, but my own comments about the sidewalks. I think the one on Pearl Street to Palmer's Provisions, I think that's a good idea, only if it does not narrow the road at all. And the one going down the hill to Front Street, I think that's a good idea for safety reasons, and that's about all I have. Thank you.
Would anyone else like to speak for the public hearing? Anyone else? Please come up.
My name's Justin Wyatt at 12 Pearl Street, and regarding that one sidewalk that's going down Pearl Street, it's in front of my house. And I'm not sure who the genius was who decided that a sidewalk's a good idea, because they must not have owned a tape measure. Tonight I went out and measured from the car that's parked across the street to the curb, and it was about just over 15 feet. If you extend, which they're proposing, from the property line out into the street, a 4-foot sidewalk, you're losing another 2 feet. That's the biggest bottlenose in knowing, with all the boats coming down, as people have addressed. You can't get 2 cars by there now. You have to stop, a car has to go, another car has to go, and now you're eliminating 2 feet off of that. There's every year, last year I think I counted about 10 where cars were sideswiped, where 2 cars were just trying to get by and they rubbed each other. They stop, they have to pull over, the police come. I believe that's all public record. It makes no sense to have one sidewalk in front of one house. Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
This is a great part of democracy. We get to speak our pieces peacefully. I'm Oliver Porter, 44 Main Street. We arrived here in 1971, so that's 55 years I've got to observe Main Street, right in the middle of it, across from the park, and raised 5 children. 2 of them are here tonight. Another one lives in the village, and the other 2 are close by. I have 10 grandchildren. They spend a lot of time in the house, and I'm happy to announce that I've got 1 great-grandchildren now that will be coming to the house. We have played in the park all those 55 years and had those grandchildren in the park. I sit on the front porch now as a over 90-year-old cudger and watch the proceedings there. Worried sick about the young kids running out in the park, from the park into the road, scooters on the road, golf carts, present part of the environment there. Have other relatives and other communities down south especially that live with the golf carts, but they have much stricter rules and much stricter regulation. So I do worry about the golf cart vulnerability. At the same time, we have young whippersnappers that like to step on the gas going down Main Street and make lots of noise with their mufflers. So there are risks there. And I wonder about the town's vulnerability, that if something hopefully never happens, but if it does, we're going to have to pay a price on that, because that's what the lawyers like to go after. And especially after we spent these many months looking at Main Street House, and what we turn down may make us vulnerable to lawsuits in the future. So I hope you folks running our government now can take that into considerations. I don't have too much problem with the design as it is. Over the years, when we arrived in '71, the first thing we had to do was put in a sewer, and the whole Main Street was dug up, mud and dirt and dust, blasting, but we put up with it, and it was a big improvement when we were done. All of our family have used the town dock for swimming. When we got here, there were a lot of sewage outlets running into the river, and we were very concerned about the purity of the water there. So any improvements we make in the drainage system will be appreciated by future generations. Well, I've mentioned the liability aspect. I'm concerned about that. We've dealt with these 55 years with the ramp for the driveway, the big steps off from the sidewalk, the deteriorating sidewalks and having to repair them. The street lighting is marginal. It does a pretty good job in front of our house, and the maybe 2 blocks on either side that provide light. But I think the improved street lighting would be the lamp posts and things on it too. And the condition of the sidewalks we certainly need. So I have a sympathy for those folks that are on the side streets or on the end of Main Street that looking at changes that aren't going to be very accommodating. But I think we need to, it's time we do it. I've waited 55 years for these, and we've talked about it and explored it with town officials and neighbors, and we need to take advantage of it now, I think. So good luck on it, and if I can be of any help, I have an engineering background and a naval architecture background, so I second guess everything going on, but I'm well satisfied with what our paid officials are doing in the Public Works Department. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Would
Hello, everyone. First of all, Madam Mayor, I want to thank you for returning 5 minutes. It means a lot to me, and I know a lot of people, so thank you. That's means a lot. John Goodrich, 74 Irving Street. Here to introduce myself, as Manager Burt knows, I'm a trustee on Preservation Connecticut, and we've received a lot of calls, as is the National Historic Trust, about what's going on. So simply observing on the historical side of what's going to happen in Noank, and look forward to working side by side with you guys if that becomes an issue. My other comment as a resident, please take what these people say into account. We all live in neighborhoods. I don't live in Noank, I live in my neighborhood. We all live in our own neighborhoods. And our neighborhoods are where we go to sleep, where we wake up, where we walk our dogs, where we play with our kids, our grandkids, our partners. It's where we create our lives. And that's very important. So when you guys make the decision, please take the input of the residents of Noank seriously, because it's their neighborhood. And if all they want is drainage, go with drainage. If they want sidewalks, go with sidewalks. But I know sometimes, I sit on a commission, maybe we think we know a little more, and we put our own feelings and thoughts ahead of the people. Again, just please listen to what's important to them, because it is their neighborhood. Thank you.
anyone else? If not, I will be closing the public hearing. Oh, we have one more? All right, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Paul Bates, 47 Church Street.
I'm sorry, could you speak into my?
Paul Bates, 47 Church Street. Mayor, members of the council, town manager. We all thank you ever so much for taking the time to let the community have an opportunity to give their input. I'd like to second the thought on hiring Greg Hanover as a consultant for this project. He, more than anyone, has put more time in, has communicated more with the community, has offered his own office time outside of public meetings to explain the project and discuss it with the community. I too find the proposed sidewalk on the west side of Pearl Street to be nothing but a nuisance. There's some talk about putting they call a Cape Cod curb on it so you can drive up on it, but if you can drive on it, why bother to have the sidewalk there? Why go through the expense of moving the fence and all the other falderall? I also support option B, no sidewalk on the north side of Store Hill. I'd like to invite you all to come to Noank some nice, sunny, mild day and take about 15 minutes and walk from one end to the other and note all the patches on the patches. There isn't any question in anybody's mind that this project is long overdue, and we look forward to some attention. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, I will be closing, I'm now closing the public hearing at 7:32. Thank you. I'm going to call for a 5-minute recess. I got one of those. Thank you. So we're back from recess at 7:43, and next we have citizens petition. Receipt of citizens petitions, comments, and concerns. Is the portion of the council meeting where the council welcomes comments from citizens. To address the council, please sign the sheet on the table at the front of the meeting room. When you are recognized by the mayor, please approach the podium and request that you clearly state your name and address. Speaking into the microphone, each presentation should be limited to 5 minutes or less, and citizens should, if possible, submit written comments. Presentations should be related to matters pertinent to Groton. The mayor reserves the right to shorten the length of comments to preserve the order of the meeting. Town council may extend speaking time beyond 5 minutes with a majority vote of the council. To speak during this portion of the meeting, please sign up at the meeting before the call to order. You may also register to speak in person in advance by emailing groton-ct.gov no later than 4 p.m. on the day of the meeting. And first up, we have Dana Parfit.
Good evening. I'm Dana Parfit, and I am at 32 St. Paul Court here in Groton. And tonight I come to you on behalf of the Groton Mystic 250 Celebrating America Committee, which you all have bookmarks, and there's a magic QR code that will take you to our calendar and all of the events that are going to be going on this year. So I'm just going to read you what we have posted on our website. In 2026, the United States marks a historic milestone, the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. This moment invites us to reflect on the bold ideas set forth in 1776, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. As part of the nationwide commemoration, the town of Groton, city of Groton, and Mystic will join communities across Connecticut and the nation celebrating this monumental occasion with a series of engaging events, educational programs going on throughout the year. And like I said, the QR code will take you to the calendar that's on the town's website that links you right to all of our events. And there are monthly events going on at all 3 of our libraries, which have started this week. We had Revolutionary Reels, which is a Friday movie series of Revolutionary War series. Tonight is the first of the Revolutionary Book Club meetings, where each month it's a different book that bounces from all the different libraries. Our partners in this whole program this year are Daughters of the American Revolution, both the Groton and Stonington chapters, the Fort Griswold Battlefield State Park Foundation, the Sons of the American Revolution, the Submarine Force Museum, Thames River Heritage Park, Groton Parks and Recreation, and the Mystic Historical Society. As you also received is a flyer for the parade this year. We're looking to make it the biggest and best we've had since we did the bicentennial parade, which one of our members has brought beautiful pictures reminding us what great floats we had then. So if you've got a float idea, we want to float it during the parade. They'll also be at all of our different events throughout the year. We'll be giving out pocket copies of the American Constitution, the Constitution, and providing these for high school students as well. So that's a nice thing. And I promise I'll bring them to you next month when I come to tell you about more events that we'll be having. And if you have an idea for an event that you think would be great, let us know. We're not only looking for big group activities or book clubs or things like that. We're also looking at how life was in 1776, from textiles and foods to a little bit of life in the way it was, and how Groton played a part in that, and how our whole community has shaped the United States over these past 250 years, which includes our contributions in submarines and Navy and other military forces. And as you know, of course, we have our own battlefield here, which not many people have. Later this month at the library, there'll be a special presentation on the Boston Tea Party, which is, again, at that lovely calendar. So for all of your events and activities this year, and the big thing at the end, there will be merch at some point coming. So there'll be wearables as well. So see you all year during the 250.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right. Michael Boucher.
Mike Boucher, 16 Hillside Avenue in the city. Was the first application to the Connecticut Community Investment Fund for the funding of the Groton City seawall fraudulent? I have a lot of concern with many parts of the first applications to CIF for funds. Unfortunately, I do not have a copy of the second CIF application. The first application was to the Connecticut Community Investment Fund from the town of Groton for the City of Groton seawall reconstruction located at Zero Shore Avenue, Groton, Connecticut, dated June 4th, 2025. All the statements I'll be reading come from the first application, and I do believe the Connecticut Community Investment Fund Board should vet the second application very thoroughly. Statement 1 from the application: a concrete facade was added in the mid-1900s. The seawall is failing with deep cracking visible. Not true. The cement veneer was cracking, but no evidence of the original granite block seawall was cracking. I have not seen any study showing failure of the actual granite block seawall or of Shore Avenue. An FOI request for these studies turned up nothing. The cement veneer itself has lasted amazingly long, over 60 years. Believe it or not, the new cement seawall is expected only to last 30 to 50 years. And I will add that the granite block wall was built back in 1880, so we're going downhill quick. A December 3rd, 2021 city presentation states the integrity of the original seawall is unknown. Statement 2 out of the application: the contractor encountered the following unforeseen site conditions. Designs located the forced sewer main outside the excavation area. However, the contractor found the utility was within the excavation area, which required the first design revision to install a forced sewer bypass pipe. The Groton Town Manager's report back in 2021 states that the forced sewer line was part of the wall. Distances of the forced sewer line varied in other reports, and in the city seawall reconstruction RFP, the forced sewer is located incorrectly. Call before you dig. GU had a responsibility to locate its utilities in a construction zone accurately. At the very least, dig some test holes to locate your utility lines. This is what the contractor ended up doing to be sure of the location of the utility lines. Another statement: 3 borings were conducted during design phase, indicating that bedrock was 13.7 feet below the roadway level. Not true. Boring number 1 and 2 clearly showed bedrock. Boring number 3 clearly shows no bedrock, only fill to 8 feet and sand down to 14 feet, with something called auger refusal at 14 feet, but no attempt to drill further down. The other 2 borings hit bedrock and were drilled deeper to confirm the bedrock. Only 2 borings showed bedrock for a 350-foot seawall, which was designed to be anchored to bedrock. In January of 2024, GZA was asked by city staff to answer the pretty-big question of the lack of bedrock, reported in boring number 3. GZA answered that bedrock was assumed to be at 13 feet, and city staff accepted that answer for the seawall bid process. Another statement on the application: the Shore Avenue seawall is deteriorating with deep visible cracks. Again, not true, as I stated earlier. It also says the city began reconstruction in May 2024 and encountered a series of unexpected complications that have significantly impacted the budget and timeline. Those complications were the lack of bedrock and the lack of accurate determination of the utility lines. Unexpected, no. The city of Groton failed to do its due diligence in properly locating utility lines and following up with more borings to locate the bedrock after 1 out of only 3 borings failed to find bedrock for a 350-foot seawall designed to be anchored to bedrock. Another comment: the project went through an approval process with the town and city, which incorporates public involvement. The town council blocked discussion on the seawall on at least 3 occasions. No public hearing for ARPA fundings on the seawall, no public discussion for the first and second Community Investment Fund applications, and a strict limit by the town council allowing residents the opportunity to only speak 2 minutes a month and sometimes no chance to speak. Next comment in the application: in 2014, the city identified the need to address Shore Avenue seawall deteriorating condition. Again, through an FOI request, the city could not provide any documents to me to relate it to this statement. Another comment: During the design phase, 3 borings were performed along the length of the seawall to identify soil conditions. I'll just skip real quick to my last comment, please. Federal funds, $1,400,000. Okay, that's the FBI. The FBI should be investigating the whole seawall reconstruction process from 2014 storyline to this final ending that we have, which is $10 million in cost overruns. There's a lot more information here if anyone from the council cares about town taxpayer funds.
Thank you for your time. Rachel, former Mayor Rachel Franco.
Thank you. Rachel Franco from Mystic, Connecticut. Good evening, Town Council. I'm going to start off and say it. I want you to vote no on the Historic District Commission candidate John Goodrich tonight. The HDC was recently sued for not following HDC regulations, but rather making a decision based on the Commission's feelings. The HDC is now settling with that claim. But before the vote, the HDC had relayed information from the resident who brought up the claim. And Goodrich actually said, if that's true. He basically implied that the resident could be lying about something simplistic. He was the sole vote against the claim. Have you watched these meetings? It has gotten better, but it's as if they're sitting around a kitchen table at home and just chatting it up, instead of making real decisions that affect real people in their finances. They've even talked negatively about residents after they leave the room. In November 2025, Goodrich ran for town council. He and his party put up signs up that violated the Groton planning and zoning regulations. He was directly alerted and asked to remove them by Groton zoning officials. What do you think he did? No, he didn't remove them like he said he would. They added more and then left them in violation for weeks until after the election. So you see, regulatory boards like the HDC impose regulations on residents, but he himself seems to thumb his nose at the regulations and instead berated the person who inquired about the legality of the signs. Groton deserves better than someone whose mentality is rules for thee, but not for me. I have received his endless wrath of bullying. Even after my term ended, he has also bullied my family. When Goodrich doesn't get his way, he files bogus complaints, harasses, lies, and bullies. He is known to go after both citizens and elected officials. He lacks the integrity to serve on Groton boards and commissions. I implore you to vote against his nomination this evening. Now, I'm pretty sure I'll be hearing from Goodrich's attorney after my comments tonight. And if so, I'll be back next month to share that information with all of you. So vote no for Goodrich. Now, Councilor Bordelon, you're really good friends with Mr. Goodrich, right? I think you, Bordelon, are a disgrace to the town of Groton. You are unethical and have proven so on numerous occasions. You have shown that you don't know the council rules, or you just don't care because you break the rules at every meeting. You create drama and issues. You consistently attack other councilors. You gaslight. You create a hostile work environment with those on the council as well as town staff. And then you claim to be a victim. And heaven forbid if anyone pushes back on the almighty Councilor Bordelon, because you will have a massive temper tantrum and the council will have to take a break. What has been described by residents as a toddler timeout, which wastes everybody's time. And if we, the citizens of Groton, have to listen to another story about where you've worked at your plethora of jobs, good grief, you've had a zillion jobs. Listen here, Captain Obvious, your words are not enlightening, but rather simplistic and extremely long and drawn out. Just give it a rest. For the love of all that is good in Groton, find something else to do with your time to feed your gigantic ego elsewhere, because Groton deserves better. Vote no on Goodrich. Thank you.
That's what I've been putting up with for the last, that's great, it's on the record now. Ian Thomas?
Ian Thomas, 24 Jefferson Drive. Full disclosure, I am spouse of Councilor Bordelon and also a member of the Board of Education. But I'm here speaking as a private citizen, concerned taxpayer, and longtime follower of all things on the council, town government. I want to thank the mayor and the town manager for restoring the 5 minutes for citizens' petitions. However, I did have some concerns with the wording in the agenda package. It stated that the mayor reserves the right to shorten the time to preserve order. I believe that's incorrect. I believe the wording should be that the council reserves the right to adjust the time by vote in accordance with Rule 11A. I believe all past practice will demonstrate that that is what the rule has been used for in the past. It's been stated that that rule has been only used to lengthen time. I would advise against accepting that revisionist history. My recollection, to my knowledge, the rule has only been used to shorten time in situations where there are enough speakers in the room to warrant it, and there was a motion on the floor and a vote taken by the council to make the adjustment to typically about 3 minutes. And if there is documentation to prove otherwise, I would encourage the mayor and the manager to provide that to the public, showing me when 11A was used to lengthen time, because again, I don't recall whenever that was done over the past 10 years that I've been a resident here. I am trying to practice a new year, new attitude, new start. So, you know, I do appreciate, you know, that this is a new council, and there's always a chance to refresh connections amongst people. And to that end, I was a little disappointed to see that, you know, Councilor Bordelon, again, since, you know, we are married, I was privy to the fact that she made a request for 2 specific committees as the second most senior counselor on the body here. And again, over the past 10 years, you know, prior to the council of 2021, prior to the primary, past practice, there was some deference and preference conferred to senior counselors. So they would either get the committee, at least one committee of their choice, or be given a chair of a committee. And that has, neither was afforded to Councilor Bordelon. Instead, she was offered only the one committee that she did not ask for, and then was not even awarded the chair of that committee as a consolation prize. So, as the Temporary Rules and Procedures Committee now is conducting its work, there is an opportunity for the mayor to, you know, extend an olive branch and, you know, go for a new start, fresh start, and maybe perhaps offer a seat on the Rules and Procedures Committee to the Permanent Rules and Procedures Committee to Councilor Bordelon when that time comes, because I know that was one of the committees that she was very interested in serving on. So along those lines, I would also just say, speaking of the Rules and Procedures Committee, I would caution this council against making a referral or following through with changing Rule 11A to somehow now grant the power to the mayor to unilaterally change speaking time, because that would only be a tacit admission of it being applied incorrectly prior to. So again, revisit Rule 11A, Rule 5C, the preserve order rule only was passed, and you can check the record on this. The motion was made, the referral was made by Mayor Melendez as an effort to be able to curtail presentations by town staff and potential developers to limit how they speak here to about 30 minutes or so that they could preserve order of the meeting so that all the time would not be chewed up. 11A is the rule that governs public comment and citizens petitions, and I suggest that the council just kind of correct the language in the agenda packet to match that. Thank you.
Okay, we're done. With receipt of citizen petitions, we are now on to the consent calendar.
Make a motion to approve the consent calendar. Items 2025-1192 November 25th, 2025, and December 2nd, 2025 minutes.
Second.
I'm sorry, who was second? Thank you.
We have two.
As well as 2025-1203, special trust fund contributions, January 2026.
Second.
Okay. Motion's moved in second. Any comments, any discussion? Council Borderline.
Yes, did we also move all the trust fund
He
money as
did.
well? I just want to comment and just thank the people who donate continuously to that. I think, I mean, some people used to name them, but, you know, there's a lot of different things in here where people have generously donated to the food locker. I see a lot of that. Social services, a lot of food locker again, just a lot of different things here, and a lot of different names, as well as some nonprofit organizations that are also donating, like churches. So again, thank you to the people that continually donate to support our community, and I just don't think it should go unnoticed. Thank you.
Any others? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? That passes 9-0-0. We are now on to communications and reports. And Counselor Merritt, you have anything to report? Counselor Bordelon.
Thank you. I just want to wish everyone a Happy New Year, and just hope everyone had a nice holiday season, and good rest and time with their families. I also want to send my condolences to the Mystic River Elementary School with the teacher who passed away suddenly, and, you know, just right before the holidays. Just what a sad loss to our community. I just want to say that I did receive a lot of comments regarding Noank streetscape, as well as some stuff about the seawall. Again, I just want to also address my concern with, you know, my lack of recognition to be accepted on any committee. Again, there's 9 seats and usually 8 counselors because the mayor usually doesn't take a seat. So that's 6 options out of 8 people to get on one committee that you're asking to be on, or at least be chair of. So again, I ask maybe when the standing rules come that there be some type of extension acceptance. I think up here we all are elected, and folks have been up here, and everyone should have a fair stake at where they would want to be, at least one choice out of the 2. And that could be awarded to everyone fairly, and it should be. So I hope maybe there'll be some change still. In response to the comments that just made to me, directed at me, it just validates everything I've been dealing with. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to give it much more air than that, but wow, that was our mayor. And the hurtful, how I feel about a certain person, I would never come and just say that the way that that was. The abuse and the attacks that I received under her power up here and the power she was giving by other counselors is just unbelievable. And to think that the way that I was treated was right is unbelievable. So moving forward, I hope there will be change up here, because that is, I'm just shocked. And it's recorded, and it just explained everything that I've been dealing with. So thank you.
Counselor Burrell?
Yeah, again, I wish everybody Happy New Year. Also, I noticed on Facebook, I want to congratulate the Town Police Department for a Community Policing Award they received. I just saw that on Facebook. That's all I have for now.
Thank you. Counselor Pacino?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I would just like to take this opportunity to let people know what I've learned in the last 2 years on the council. The less you say, the more you're heard. Don't take everything personally. Not everyone thinks of you as much as you think. When you focus on the problems, you create more problems. When you focus on the solutions, you help more people. No matter how much this job takes from you, you'll look back at how much you gained. Never be afraid to ask a question of your fellow councilors or the town manager. Number one, you're not all knowledgeable. Number two, your constituents may have the same question. You may never truly know the value of your service to our constituents, so cast your vote on every agenda item. You are not elected to the town council to abstain. If you don't have control of your mouth, you don't have control of your future. With that said, on a lighter note, my granddaughter got me this pen for Christmas. It writes underwater. I brought an example. Now, on a more serious note, it also writes other things. So, with that, I am done.
Councilor Jones.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I also received many different communications from residents on a variety of the issues that have already been addressed. This week I attended my first golf committee meeting, so it was very interesting to learn about golf. And I've watched golf on TV for years, but I think I need to go and take a couple golf lessons and get a little deeper into it. But, so that was really good. I want to thank Mayor Rusk and the City of Groton. The United Way Food Bank was held, because of the inclement weather, was held inside the Memorial Building, and attended along with Mayor Parker and Councilor Good. We were able to distribute a lot of food to a lot of people. It was a great day, and the challenge is that many people can't get there because they can't walk. We have a lot of people who usually walk to the food bank, but people seem to come, and we were able to help a lot of people. So thank you to the city for offering their space for us to be able to offer food to the residents. Thank you.
Councilor Fitzgerald.
I also received quite a bit of communication from regarding the Noank reconstruction project, and I also want to thank everyone who turned out tonight to share your thoughts about the direction of the project. And finally, I'd just like to wish everyone a Happy New Year, and I look forward to a great year for the town of Groton.
Thank you. Councilor Good.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, I'd like to share Councilman Jones' thanks to the City of Groton for opening up space for the food distribution United Way. And also would like to wish everyone a Happy New Year, and hope this is the best one so far. Thank you.
Councilor McBride.
Thank you. I'd like to wish everyone a Happy New Year as well. Everyone's kind of reported everything, so nothing really for me to go over, but received correspondence, so forth, and looking forward to working with this council over the next 2 years. Thank you.
Okay, and thank you for me. Okay. I attended, of course, the United Way with Councilor Jones and Councilor Good, SEC TV holiday event. Thank you for inviting me. It's always nice to stop by the studio and look at everything behind the scenes. I attended the RTM swearing in, and I also went out for the Malta plunge drive, January 1st. It was cold out, and thank you to everyone that went out and did it, and I congratulate you on doing it. I know that water was cold. Couple of things I did. I sent emails out regarding miscellaneous assignments, and I would like to talk about that at the end. I will be appointing a couple of other new ones that popped up. I just want to let everyone know, for some people, it's been a hard year already beginning. End of the year started rough. I know a lot of people have had a lot of loss, and I send my sincere condolences to them. I just want to wish everyone, if you need to reach out, for help or anything, please reach out to someone and talk. A lot of things are going through people's minds right now, and reach out if you need help, please. On that note, congratulations to swearing in. I want to congratulate new city councilor, Christy McElroy, as board chair. Beverly Washington had to step down to be on the Board of Ed, and I wish her good luck in her term too. I'm looking forward to working with everyone. I just want to remind everyone we're all here to do the work, and if everyone can respond to emails in a timely manner, that would help, because things need to be decided in a timely manner and because of committees coming up. So on that note, we'll be moving forward. Clerk of the Council. Clerk of the RTM.
Okay, their next meeting is Wednesday, January 14th at 7 p.m. at Thrive 55. Currently, there are four vacancies, one in District 1, a Democratic seat. District 3 has one minority representation, and District 4 has 2 minority representations available. And that's it.
Town Manager.
Happy New Year, everyone. For the benefit of those who are new, just to point out before I give my report that FOIA rules allow for a couple simple questions, but no opinion should be given from council on anything unless it's added to the agenda. So just a warning there. I don't have too much to report tonight. You may have saw the accident at 117 and 1 intersection where we had a sign there. It was previously destroyed by a car. We were getting close to putting a new one up, and thank goodness we hadn't. We're going to be, the house is apparently a total loss. It went right through the intersection and totaled the house, or it took out the foundation. There's already an article out about it, but we're going to look at other options. I don't think DOT will allow us to put a guardrail there because, head-on impact. We may have to look at offsetting our sign and probably berming it to make it, a little more visible. But we'll look at options and let you know. But I heard there was another section of fence hit near there recently also. So apparently a pretty dangerous intersection. Public Works Director mentioning good news for sub. I've actually been in talks with Greg to work on the the Noank Main Street project and the athletic fields project. So I anticipate he'll be back to do some work for us. And if you were not here tonight or did not previously send comments on Noank Main Street, please do so to count. You can send emails to council@groton-ct.gov. And the only other thing is we've been working on getting a donate button on the Human Services website. We've had issues for a while. We're just about there. I think there's just training left that has to be done on handling the finances of it internally. So we should have a donate button set up soon, and we'll publicize that heavily and reiterate my thanks, same as Councilor Bordelon, for everyone who donates. People are very generous.
Okay, and we're moving on to the next. Your question?
Sure. Through the mayor to the town manager, I just wanted to check, no rush on it, I just wanted to see if you had any updates on the homeless population that you're going to look to see, like what the statistics roughly were?
Yeah, I'd send an email out to the council. I'll resend that.
Okay. I'm not caught up on mine because I was away, but I will be caught up if it's not at the top. Which date?
I'll look for it and I'll resend it so it's towards the top.
I'm in it now, but I still don't see it. What date did you send it?
I don't know off the top of my head. It was right. It was like within a few days of that when it was asked.
All right. I will, thank you for that. And I'll comment after I update on that. Thanks.
Okay. We are now going to committee reports. Committee of the Whole, we've had our meeting. We're having a meeting next week, which is our goals meeting. And correct me if I'm wrong, do we have something else on that, Mr. Burt?
Sorry, excuse me.
Goals meeting, correct?
What's that?
Next week's the goals meeting?
Yes, next week's the goals meetings. If you have, we've asked for, I think it was 10 goals from each counselor. If you're interested, please get it to me by noon Friday at the latest.
Next, personal appointments.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Personnel and appointments met via Zoom on December 16th at 5:30 PM and wrapped up at 5:41 PM, I believe. And we'll go over individuals like in the agenda.
Not at this time, you can ask it.
I'm sorry?
Actually, I'm not taking questions at this time for committees. I just want the reports right now. So temporary.
Point of information or clarification?
Your point of information.
So before we were told if we had questions about the meeting, we were asked under the report. So now I just want to, because it's a new mayor.
It's a new mayor.
So would you like that to go under so we can ask those same questions when the next time it comes up? Or is that because it's only going to be when it
He's
comes?
presenting reports tonight, so he's presenting something tonight. If it has something to do with the agenda item, I want you to wait until the agenda item. I'm moving on to the Temporary Rules Committee.
But the agenda item is only the names. I had other
Correct.
questions.
We're only talking about what's on the agenda for tonight. But, okay, moving forward.
That doesn't make any sense. I'm confused, but okay.
Temporary Rules, Chair Pacino.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. No meeting, no report.
Public Safety, Chair Burrell.
No meeting, no report.
Okay. We are now on to new business. 2025-1204, Planning and Zoning Commission reappointment, and Council Good, please present.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Catch up.
Page 30.
Unless he's reading the...
Item
Oh, he's making the motion.
Item 2025-1204, Planning and Zoning Commission reappointment. I move to make the following reappointment to the Planning and Zoning Commission. It's resolved that the Town Council reappoints Susan Sutherland, unaffiliated, to the Planning and Zoning Commission as a full member with a term expiration date of December 31st, 2030.
Second, Pacino.
That motion's been moved and seconded by Good and Pacino. Any discussion? Council Bordelon.
I did watch the meeting. I think Sue Sutherland has been on for quite some time, and she's done great work, and I just want to thank her for all her hard work and due diligence and all the efforts that she puts in. I think she's a phenomenal candidate. One of the other things that, is very important to me is also to make sure we see more women involved in areas where we see mainly male-dominated areas like zoning. And so I'm just really proud to see a woman serving in such a capacity, and it's just, I think she provides such a great difference of diversity and opinion on there. And again, thank you for her service.
Any other discussion? Seeing no further hands, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? That passes 9-0 to 0. Councilor McBride, could you take 2025-1185, please? Yes.
Councilor McBride.
Yes.
I'd like to make a resolution making the following reappointment to the Historic District Commission. Be it resolved that the Town Council reappoints John Goodrich to the Historic District Commission as an alternate member with a term expiration date of December 31st, 2030.
Second?
Motion's been made by McBride and seconded by Bordelon. Any discussion? Councilor Bordelon.
Thank you. So I looked at this application, and, when I watched the meeting, I didn't see it discussed. It looks as though he applied for a full-time member, so I just wanted to get some clarification as to why that wasn't even discussed, or, is there a reason that we're not considering when there's, I think, is there 2 open seats for full-time members on this board currently, or 1? That's my other question. Can you pause my time while she looks? Thanks.
There's 2.
2. Right, so Mr. Goodrich has been on here for quite some time, and it has been asking to be a full member, and the discussion never once addressed the application or the recommendation from the chair of that commission, so that's my question. I didn't know if there's any information or, any reason that the full, the application in its entirety of what the request was not considered.
Who are you asking?
Whoever you would like to
Can you
answer is
pause
fine
that
with
for
me.
Mr. Burt?
Just going off memory, the Personnel Committee a few months ago had taken up the full-time request, and now they're taking up the being reappointed to the alternate. So it failed to make it through committee a few months ago, so it's got that 12-month timeline to come back again. But
Okay, so that's the reason. So then one could reapply, and what's that date ticking from?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Can you send that to me too?
Sure.
Thank you. Again, as it was stated tonight by former Mayor Franco, yes, I know John Goodrich. I graduated with his sister. I used to work with her, Lydia, who identifies as having Down syndrome, and I was one of her peer tutors at the high school. I also grew up with their family in church, and again, I was a peer model for Lydia. I also know Goodrich through that from knowing his family. So again, do I agree with everything anyone says? Not necessarily, but I know the family and I've known him for a great long time. And I know based on his credentials and what he went to school for, this is, his background. So I just feel like he's appropriate for the position. As he stated, he's serving on the Connecticut Preservation, Connecticut. And I just think that we have an asset here. And, again, it's not about personality or who you like or don't like. It's about who fits the position, and I think he can do the job. Some of the rhetoric that was stated earlier, I mean, I can go back and watch the meetings. I can't confirm or deny what's happening at those meetings. I guess I could look into it further, as it was stated by the former mayor.
Point of order.
But I do feel,
What's your point of order?
The former mayor is not on the agenda.
Move forward, please.
right, we are allowed to state it, so, because it was stated tonight.
Okay, move forward,
You can
please.
say any name you want if they're not on the agenda.
Please move it forward.
Thank you. But as it was stated, that there's a bunch of things that are being said. I think he can do the work. I think he deserves a fair shot. I think, he should be considered. Thank you.
Councilor McBride.
Thank you. Yeah, I know of John Goodrich. I don't know him extremely well, but I do know I believe he's been on a member of this Historic District Commission in the past, right, for many years. That's why he's being reappointed. Is that correct?
yes,
Yes. And was he recommended by the chair of the HDC to stay as an alternate?
yes.
Yes, okay. So I'd be in favor of that based upon those two.
Could you pause for a moment? Can you pause this time? Please let him answer, Mr. Burt answer.
I just don't know why Mr.
Please.
Burt has to answer if the chair is here of the committee. You said to point the questions to the chair when they spoke, so I'm just confused.
He's trying to answer, he asked a question. Let someone else and not you answer the question, please.
I apologize, Mayor. I'll wait till I call that.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
I just want
Okay.
to make sure those 2 points were valid. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Council Bordelon for your
Sure.
second time.
Thank you. So to the chair,
Through the mayor.
yeah, through the mayor. Is there any other applications that have come before, or how many alternate seats are still available?
I don't have a list of all the alternate seats in front of me, but I'm sure the town clerk can provide us with that.
The one we're speaking about, Mr. Goodrich's. Yeah.
Just want to confirm.
Yep, no worries.
Looks like there's one vacancy.
Okay, right. Do we have any other applications that have come before us?
No?
No, okay. So it doesn't seem like it's very popular. We got 2 vacant seats for full members, and we have 2 seats that need to be filled for alternates, and we have an applicant here, so, I do think, it's important to fill positions, and
One alternate.
we have 1 alternate position open. Oh, just this one that he's going for.
No. He's been reappointed. He'll be reappointed. There's still one vacancy.
If he's, I'm just saying, right now, if he's not reappointed tonight, that would leave 2.
That will leave 2.
Okay, all right,
Correct.
thank you, thank you. So yes, so even with this reappointment, it would still leave 3 vacancies, 1 alternate and 2 full-time positions, so. Yeah, I just, think it takes a special person that is interested in this type of stuff. It's not for everybody, and we do have trouble getting people to fill our boards and commissions as we do have vacancies, so, thank you.
I see no other hands. It's time to vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And and opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any abstentions? Councilor Merritt, I didn't get your vote.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
How do you vote?
I'm going to abstain.
Okay. So I have 3 in favor, 6 opposed, and 1 abstention. Is that correct?
No, 5.
Math is wrong.
5.
5? Oh, 5, sorry, 5, sorry. So, for those in favor were Bordelon, McBride, and Fitzgerald. And the abstention is Councilor Merritt. The noes have it, I believe. Is that correct? Am I correct? He was not reappointed. Okay. Moving on to the next subject. Mary Morrison. Councilor Jones.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Item 2025-1145, Mary Morrison, MOU. Resolved that the Groton Town Council approves the MOU with the Board of Education for use of a field located behind the Mary Morrison School. So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded by Jones and Bordelon. Mr. Burt, did you have anything?
Just to note, there was a typo in the resolution. There should be a second S in Morrison. That's a Scrivener's error. It's in the body of it. It's correct in the title, or no, it's wrong both, sorry. It's wrong in the title and in there. That's just considered just a quick edit. We don't need to have a motion to correct it. I did double check the MOU draft was correct. It was totally my typo, I'm sorry.
Okay. Any discussion? Council Bordelon.
Thank you. Through the mayor to the town manager, I had a couple questions. People were asking, like, what really changes in this other than it's just an agreement with the Board of Ed to kind of, I guess, maybe start to improve it, because the way it was written up, that someone addressed me, and I thought they had a great point, is that we're opening more accessibility of recreation space. And as a person who lived in military housing in that area, that space, like any school grounds, has always been available after school hours. I mean, I used to go there with my kids. We'd ride bikes up and down the trail and then play soccer in the field when the school was closed. So the field has always been accessible to the public. So I guess, what is the big change other than the MOU of, we're going to do some improvement to it, is what I'm assuming. Is that basically the difference?
That's the assumption. It'll be up to the council how they proceed towards that end.
Because outside of that, it's really not a gain in accessibility because it's based on the hours of operation. The field won't be available during school hours and things like that. It would have to be after. So it's for some people in that community that reached out to me said that it's basically an even split in accessibility, but they're hoping for more amenities would be the big win. But outside of that, it's not a gain in open space in that district. That space has always been available, just like any school property. I am in support of the MOU, and I'm hoping that with this MOU, it's more than just this kind of agreement, that we're actually going to do something with the property is the hope, to make it have some more amenities. As I addressed the concerns with it being so far set back, there's not much accessibility to that. It's quite a walk from parking up front. If you park in military housing, you can, there's a couple spots there where you can come in through the middle. They used to have the Dolphin footballs there and Dolphin soccer back when they had it. If you go from Locust Circle in military housing, there's a small park there in military housing, and you can access the stairs and the trail from that way. But again, if you have a disability or identify as having a disability, it is really hard to come from that side because of the stairs, or either side because there's not clear markings. So I'm hoping with this MOU and accessibility, what asset would be gained is if it's more ADA compliant and there's more accessibility for people that identify with disabilities. But as far as a gain in land, the land has always been there. It's an equal split. It's always been public, open, after hours. So I don't know if the town manager has anything else that would enhance this other than just the agreement that we are going to start to work on the land, perhaps.
Well, it's the first step. The council will decide how they want to go about improving it. And it could be a gain for athletic fields, could be a gain in parks land. So I wouldn't call it just an even split. It's, you said just so yourself, is not that accessible. So if we make it more accessible, it is a gain.
So that's what I'm hoping. Again, we have the land, it's been there. Again, people have been using it for athletic fields, from Dolphin football to Dolphin soccer to other events have been held back there. So, but they need to be improved, and that's the hope, my hope. So, thank you.
Any others? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? That's 900.
Motion to adjourn?
We have other business.
I see no second. We're continuing. And other business? As I stated in my CAL report that I had some information about committees, I want to let you know who was appointed to which miscellaneous and ad hoc committees. For the Cable Television Advisory Council, and Councilor Fitzgerald, Children First Groton, Councilor Good, Eastern Regional, Councilor Jones, Economic Development, Councilor Pacino, Golf Advisory, Councilor Jones, Pequot Woods, Councilor Fitzgerald, Southeastern Connecticut Regional Resources Recovery Authority, Councilor Pacino, Southeastern Connecticut Water Authority, Councilor McBride, Trails Coordinating Task Force, Councilor Burrell, and the Performing Arts Commission, Councilor Good. I'm also adding the USS Groton Sail, Councilor Pacino. And I was waiting I had to reassign TVCCA because I have to resign, so I'll be reassigning that to Councilor Fitzgerald. I will now take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second?
Motion's been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned at 8:37. Thank you, guys.